Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine. How you doing, everybody? Dial us up on the World Wide Web, www.ntnm.org. Over 100,000 shows watched. The first 40 days of the year, over 10,000 shows. You people are out of your mind. Television really must be horrible. Sundays at the 24th District. Sunday at US. Welcomes, the 24th District Police Station welcomes kids of all ages to join us on Sundays from 1 to 3 p.m. at 6464 North Clark. Peer tutoring, homework help, meet new friends. For further information, call the Chicago Police Department at 312-744-6321. Of course, our website, mtnm.org, community policing, go to the meetings. You want to know what's happening with the police? Try a reality show, community policing. Maybe nobody's taping it, but it's reality. And you can really see the real police officers that are really patrolling your streets. Do you know the names of the police officers that patrol the street you live? You could actually find out and meet them. It is a good, healthy thing to do. And another good, healthy thing to do, beyond any question, is to introduce the person who introduces me every week. The person who actually has the second most watched show in our history, the Barbershop Show, climbing somewhere around 6,600 watches right now, which for us, not having sex, drugs, and rock and roll is a huge amount. And of course, I'm talking about the man of all men, the barber of all barbers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're talking about Marty Levinson. Marty, how you doing?
Avi Myers, thank you so much. A pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, and I've always loved coming here.
It's my pleasure, and first of all, thank you. And I actually had to definitely go get a barber, go get a haircut. Of course, I don't go to Marty at all. No, I was at Marty's yesterday.
Came by me yesterday, and we kibitzed for a little while and gave him a haircut and a beard trim, and God knows he needed it.
Needed it was an understatement, and then some. I mean, thank God, it's been very busy before the election and all that.
Right. And you did a terrific job with that newspaper. Boy, I'll tell you, over 13,000 newspapers handed out. And
actually, 15,000.
Okay, 15, whatever.
It was 13 when I dropped him off to you.
Nobody's going to give this man kudos, but I am, because this guy did a heck of a job. He wrote thousands and thousands of words on his own, edited it himself, did mostly 95% of all the work except for printing it, and this is the guy.
Well, thank you very much.
He did a great job, and he had some wonderful people on his show for all the interviews for the election, and some people didn't win that we would have liked to have won, but that's okay. Life goes on, and maybe they'll run for another office.
Yeah, I do want to thank Bruce Chlorophene, who did help me a little bit. I wasn't quite, he did check a lot of the stuff for me, so that was very important.
Well, we have to give credit where credit is due.
Absolutely, he's a good guy, Bruce. Anyway, one of the things we've talked about well, first, you know what? Here's a question.
Okay.
If I walk into a barber shop, let's say you're in a two-person barber shop. Okay, and let's say the other barber has a better haircut than you. Okay. Aren't you the person who gave that other barber the haircut?
That's exactly right. That's an old story from some kind of an old TV program where the barber was, the old barber had the shop wasn't new and it wasn't modern, so the guy went to the other barber and the guy had a terrific haircut. And he said, "Who gave you your haircut?" "The guy down the street in the old barber shop." So he went back to the old barber shop to get the better haircut.
One of the subjects we've talked about in the past, that's great. One of the subjects we talked about in the past, we should bring this up every now and then because I think it's an important thing. You actually went to a barber college.
Yes. Okay. Moeller Barber College, which at the time...
What was the name of it?
Moeller, M-O-E-L-L-E-R, which was at the time when I went there in the 60s. Any of you know what the 60s was like? Okay, there was a lot of things going on with longer hair, and times were changing because you had different English groups coming in with long hair, and it wasn't really the most thing to do to become a barber, but I wanted to do it, and I'm glad I did it because I learned how to cut long hair. I learned from beauticians. I showed them how to cut men's hair, and they showed me how to cut women's hair.
I used to brag about only taking 2 haircuts a year. Well, actually, that was more the 70s. I wasn't quite old enough then for the 60s to fully appreciate, but some people do say if you remember the 60s, you weren't there.
That's right. Well, most of them were there, but they weren't there, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
So anyway, going to barber college was, to me, I did it in less than 10 months. At that time, it was over 2,000 hours, around 2,000 hours. And then I went to barber school and hairstyling school 6 days a week, and I worked because I had a family, and I had to start taking care of everybody and get my position in life,
Now, right now, there actually are no regular barber colleges the way there used to be.
Well, just to let everybody know, there's a new one that just opened. I received a picture postcard from the gentleman who opened up a barber college in Schaumburg, right near Woodfield. And I'm thinking the reason he opened it is because there's a lot of boys coming back from the wars, and they have no place to go. And so they're going to learn a trade. The government pays for it. It's all financed through the federal government, and they get money for learning how to become a barber. They also get money to live so they can become a barber, so they don't have to work and go to school. So I think it's a great idea. It's the only one in the area. There are a few shops around that cater to African American hair, but barber colleges, they're on the south side. But for the average man who wants to become a barber, he would want to go to this kind of a school because then it teaches you all ethnicities.
I never thought about it, but yeah, there's got to be a it's weird because when we were filming over by Zara Quadri's place, I saw a little stand, and it was like there was a hair care product for Indians.
Yeah.
And it was the same stuff that the black people use.
That's exactly right. The black hair products are wonderful products for the African American male and the female. But in the average, the American males spend over $1 billion a year on hair products, anything above the neck for the face, shaving cream, lotions, all kinds of beard, hair dyes, everything that goes with a man's taking care of himself. It's a big business today. Much bigger than it's ever been.
No question. Now, there's got to be, I never thought about that. There's got to be a real difference to, I had a Jewish friend who had a fro, Shelley Wogel. So, but, I can't imagine he went to 43rd. I don't know.
No, I learned how to cut, I learned in barber college how to cut African American hair, Hispanic hair, and white, Caucasian. But when I was working years ago, I was working for some part-time jobs in nursing homes, and I learned how to cut African American hair. And a lot of the brothers said to me, "You're a better barber than my people." A lot of them said that to me, and I was thrilled. I was flat, really taken back by that. And I said, "Thank you very much," because that's really to cut. It's not easy to cut African American hair. It's not easy at all. But I can do it because I can do it. That's me.
Right. Well,
I'm fortunate that I'm able to do it.
I've only been using Marty for about 30 years, and I still haven't made up my mind if he's any good or not, so I'll have to use him another 30 or 40 years.
Thank you.
And maybe at that point, then I'll make up my mind.
Thank you very much. I hope we're around together to make our minds up together.
Yeah, God willing, absolutely no question about it. Oh, by the way, you should say hi to your wife and kids while we're at it.
Yes, I would love to say hello to my lovely wife, Karen, and my children, Adam. He's the oldest. He's a school teacher, and Heather's a school teacher. And then I have Jenna, who's looking for a job. She graduated with a degree in social work. And I have my Amanda, who just came back from Carbondale. She's now going to Northeastern to finish up her schooling to get a degree in teaching.
Very good. So that's terrific. And one thing I'll tell all of you, because frankly I'm over at the shop listening. He's proud of all you guys, and he really cares about you and loves you like crazy.
Thank you. And I also want to say hello to my mother-in-law, Lois. I love you, baby.
Yeah, you were telling me your mom's still...
My mother's still alive. I'd say hello to her. I will say hello to her, but she's in Florida.
She can watch on YouTube.
She doesn't do... she's a woman of the 80s, the 1880s.
Well put.
92 years old. Kinohora baby, she's still going strong. She's a wonderful woman, and she takes care of herself, and she travels all over.
And by the way, even without the Hi, I'm Marty Levinson stuff, the fact is everybody knows Marty before that. We had you walk in when Deputy Chief Ratner was here.
I know
he knows you, and I don't have police officers do the Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Bernie Stern, who has done it, knows you, period, from before anyway.
I know Bernie for as long as he's been alderman, which is over, 37, 38 years, or 40 years now?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's not 40. It was 1973 or 4.
No, I think it was it earlier? Wasn't it earlier than
No,
that?
it was because, you know what, I remember, I think it was 1973, and the reason I say that is because I was looking for a political campaign that year. There was a special election.
Okay.
And I know this is after the 72 elections.
Well, I remember him because I was already at TUI in California for like 4 or 5 years before that when he became the alderman. And Bernie, hello.
Anyway, at this point, we're running out of time. We want to thank you very much. We want to thank our entire technical crew.
I cannot believe it's 10 minutes already. This is unbelievable. I always say to Avi, what are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? And here we talk 10 minutes.
And I even told him I have no idea what we're going to talk about. We just made it up. But anyway, I want to thank you very much, Sonny Hirsch. Want to wish good health to you, Marty, and your entire family. Want to thank all of you for watching. Dial us up on the World Wide Web at www.ntnm.org. Community policing, go to your CAMPS meeting. caps24.org, which Sonny runs as chairman of the District Advisory Committee of the 24th District. We thank you very much for being here, everybody, and hope you'll join us again next week.